Now, why should Asians have less problem with HIV? It is said that there is cross-reactive antigens between the Escherichia coli, E. coli, and HIV. And infection with E. coli may protect against HIV. This was published in the journal Vaccine. But the vaccine manufacturers were not easily convinced. They felt that the low culture rate in Asia was related to poor culture mechanisms. They said that if you could add isovatlats substance to the culture media, the cultures would all be positive. So what did they do? They set up shop in India in 6 of the largest hospitals in the country over 4 years. And at the end of 4 years, what did they come up with? 125 positive cultures. The numbers were so low that the journal article itself says that there is a problem here. The cultures are not coming positive. They suggested that it may be because they did the study in the large hospitals and there is poor access to these hospitals and patients may be dying before they reach All India Institute of Medical Sciences. So they suggested that they do a community study to look at the problem in the community. Community studies are exorbitantly expensive. However, they funded that study. Did it in Tamil Nadu where they say the incidence is highest. They studied it over 2 years and they came up with 7 per 100,000.
Why would they say it was the highest there?
It was known beforehand that the numbers whenever tested were very low in North India, and Dr. Jacob John had repeatedly said that there was a big incidence of the problem in South India, so they did it in South India. Well, but it doesn't matter. They found 7 per 100,000. Now that paper, when it was published, that story when it was published, the journal article says that immunism in that area or some form of or that there are genetic factors in that area. But we need new ideas to suggest that there is a problem of HIV in the country. That came in the form of saying that culture rates in the country were low because there were so many quacks around. They were giving antibiotics left, right and center, and the cultures were always coming negative. So the solution to that problem was suggested to be the probe studies. Now in a probe study, you identify the reduction in clinical disease in those vaccinated compared to those not vaccinated. There's no need to look for culture positivity. All the disease that the unvaccinated have over and above those that are vaccinated must be HIV disease. So the culture problem was solved in that method. They did the study in Indonesia, Lombok. Very beautifully done study, including 55,000 children. And what did they find? That there was actually more. It did not protect against pneumonia, actually. It's not very statistically significant, but in this study, there was more pneumonia in those vaccinated compared to those not vaccinated. They did the same study in Bangladesh, not as well controlled. What did they find? That there was no difference in the incidence of meningitis or pneumonia. No statistical difference between meningitis or pneumonia between those vaccinated and those not vaccinated. This was published in the journal. However, this is what came in the press release. A press release written jointly by Gavi, WHO, Johns Hopkins, and the whole lot of them. They say published both in the BMJ and in the Indian Journal of Medical Research. And neither the Gavi nor the WHO have in any time contradicted it. United States is $5.6 according to this article published in Nature Medicine as also in the Lancet. It says, therefore, the only way the price can come down is that it is in the EPI of all countries. In short, poor countries must use the vaccine so that the price of the vaccine can come down in the West. Where HIV has been used, like in Canada, it has nearly been eliminated. However, it has been replaced by strains of non-B H influenza. Let's come to the pneumonia vaccine. Costs rupees 12,000 per child in this country. It's 4,000 rupees per dose, 3 doses, 12,000 rupees. The bulletin of the WHO says that it reduces 3.6 cases of pneumonia per 1,000 children vaccinated. This article published in the NEJM suggests that the vaccine doubles the incidence of asthma in those vaccinated. It reduces 3.6 cases of pneumonia and increases 1.4 cases per 1,000 children immunized. So, if you have to vaccinate 1,000 children at 12,000 rupees per child, you will spend 12 million rupees to prevent 4 children from getting pneumonia, which if you use the WHO drug, which is cotrimoxazole, you would spend rupees 40 treating. Now, if the vaccine prices come down by 1/10, and the price comes down to 12,000 per child, you will still spend rupees 12 lakhs to save rupees 40. The cure is worse than the disease. Where the vaccine has been used, there has been replacement of the 7-valent strains, and we have now the 19A strain against which another vaccine has been made. But the 19A strain, 1/3 of them are not penicillin sensitive, whereas most of the other old 7 strains were penicillin sensitive. So you are creating a new strain or increasing a new strain which is more resistant to antibiotics.